everything, but sometimes it seems as if God does not come through for you. You can't hear his voice. You don't know what to expect from him. It's just like you're in the secret closet and everything is a secret. Like God said, I ain't telling you nothing. I ain't giving you an answer to the prayer. I'm not giving you any advice, any counsel. Sometimes it's just quiet and you're wondering, God, I just need something. Just blow. Let me feel something. Just let me see something. If it's just a little sign, if it's just a little slight miracle, anything, God, to know that my prayer is connecting. A lot of times what happens is when we're going through our struggle and we're going through our trouble, we don't learn what God is trying to do while we're in the midst of it. But in retrospect, when we come out of what we're in and look back, we can see all of the things that God was trying to get done while we were in the fire. We can see that he was molding us. What he really shows us is that the fire was not to burn us up or to cause us, to feel insecure, but the fire was a molding process just to get us bent into a place, into an area that he can use us even greater. How many have ever experienced the fire of God, the secret fire, that secret place where God ain't doing much talking, but everything just hot? Everything just, it's just a little steamy. It's a little dark. I mean, you can't figure it out because he ain't sent no word. He ain't had nobody to call you and give you a word. Didn't no prophetess wander by and say something. Didn't no baby say something that was revelatory. It seemed like you just couldn't get anything. And all you need is a hand. I mean, you don't need to have to really just shout and run, but all you need is just God to move on either hand. If it's just working, God, or just letting me see something, all I want you to do is move. And the thing about it, no matter how we begin to seek God, and no matter what we do, it just seems like he ain't gonna answer. And I know, we ain't gonna be as transparent enough to admit it, but sometimes it just seems like he ain't talking. I know many folks say, "Oh, God always saying something, God," but I found he ain't really that loquacious. He don't talk that much. Sometimes he just say a little word here, there. If you missed it and you go back and say, "What you say, God?" He won't say nothing else. I remember when I first got saved, and I had spoke in tongue a long time, and going through the adolescent years, kind of, you get a little wishy-washy, and God did some restoring. And the second time around, when I began to speak, it was like maybe a second or two. It wasn't nothing like the first. And I said, "Wait a minute, God." I said, "Now, I need you to do this thing like you did it the first time, where 5-10 minutes you're just speaking where you can hear it. Ain't no shadow of a doubt nowhere." And the second time around, it was just I'm gonna put it in an analogy, but the second time around it was just he-yah. And I'm like, I know something just happened that I couldn't control, but I wanted to be he come out of the Honda Shadaba. God said, "I'm not gonna give you all that. If you just can't get it from just a little taste, then you ain't gonna believe it." Because see, there are a lot of folk that can speak in tongue for 5 and 10 minutes and still don't believe God. Or speak in some tongue. Let me say it like that. But he said, unless, and this is what he told me, he said, unless you believe what I just gave you, you're not going to get anything else. I say, "Okay, God, I understand what you're saying. What you're saying is that whenever you give me something, whenever you do something, I got to believe what you do. If it looks small, if it look great, whatever it is, I got to believe just that. Because sometimes you ain't going to be able to put God to the test in certain situations. Sometimes you just got to believe what he said, do what he said, and move according to his will." So I say, "Okay, God, I understand it." And for a minute there, I'm like, it's always a little testing. I'm like, "Nah, no, I didn't speak as long before, but I know what happened." And then a little while it's testing, and you find out God will move. Like, "Oh yeah, he's there. See, sometimes what happens is that when God don't move the way you think he should move, you think he's not even there. You think he's not doing anything because he haven't done it in a grand fashion, in a great fashion where everybody can see it. Sometimes sometimes, can I tell you something? Sometimes when God anoints you, only you will know and God. Your neighbor ain't gonna know, your friend ain't gonna know. You could take Samuel, for instance. When Samuel was anointing Saul, he took him away from all the camp and even his servant. He said, tell your servant to go on just a minute, because this ain't something that the servant or the armor bearer can take part in. This is just something personal. That's why sometimes when God do things in your life, he move everybody aside, and you wish you had that comfort, or you wish you had that leg to lean on, or whatever. But God say, I just need you by yourself. That's why sometimes you go through what you go through, and ain't nobody there to help you. Ain't nobody there to build you up, because God say, I just need you and you